Hey everyone, this is going to be just a really short video. I've heard the news that there's going to be, apparently it's legit, there's going to be a live action Elden Ring movie. And I figured, the night I heard the news, someone sent me the news, I was like, oh shit, that's cool. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to make a bingo card. Because there was like the whole like, oh, Elden Ring randomizer bingo and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I may as well just make a bingo card. So here it is. I guess I'll just go through it. May as well. Starting from the top. I'll start with the middle and then go from top right, whatever. The movie is real. No japes. Free space. If the movie is real, I mean, you have a free space in the middle. Classic bingo things. Okay, top left. The movie is technically non-canon. So, not unlike Night Rain, it's very possible that the movie is going to be in like a separate canon or like a alternate scenario situation, kind of like how Night Rain is, where it's like for a comparison, in the Kirby lore there is the True Arenas, which the True Arena is not necessarily canon, but characters that are showcased in it and things that the characters can do are potentially canon. Kind of like how Galactonite, for example. So that's what that is. Movie is technically non-canon. If it's basically non-canon, then if it is different enough from the lore, then yeah. Silent protagonist. I'm assuming we're going to have a Tarnished as the main character. That would be my assumption. It's very possible it might just play it through the events of the Shattering, in which case it might not showcase a Tarnished character at all. But I kind of like the idea of it having a silent protagonist. That seems like if they're going through for like the events that take place during Elden Ring after the Shattering War, and they have a Tarnished, he should be a silent protagonist in my opinion. I hope if they have one, if they have a protagonist like that, I hope he's silent. May chaos take the world. Madness. If we see some madness going on, someone go screaming their guts out, I'd be happy to see that in the movie. I'm not especially happy about people in excruciating, maddening pain, but you know what I mean. New character, who dis? It's just if the movie creates any characters that we have not seen from Elden Ring or Night Rain. Yeah, new character. Cut content is used. So there is a considerable amount of cut content. There aren't too many characters from cut content, but it would be nice. But like for example, the Miranda's prayer. If we meet or see Miranda, or Miranda is at least discussed, that would be cool. Oh dear, you're maidenless. If we get Vare at the beginning. Or if they even just say if the word maidenless is said, that's a bingo for you. Directed by, or a cameo by, Hidetaka Miyazaki, Mr. Miyazaki himself. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the film or partook in the film to some capacity. So that would be a spot. Iron Fist Alexander. If we don't get Alexander, I'm going to be frowning my face, but it would be cool to see him in it, especially if since he's not going to be physically present. It would be so cool for him to be voiced by the same voice actor. I forget the voice actor's name, but I love his performance as Iron Fist Alexander. Centrist Andy. So this is if the movie is following like the tarnished if the movie plot follows our tarnished becoming Elden Lord, then this is if they don't really go for an ending, or if they don't necessarily even get to an ending. You know what I mean? Like, if they don't have any specific ending for the film, that is like one of the end. If that is, yeah. Okay. This space right here, I've decided to call "Shut the Fuck Up." Shut the fuck up is a space dedicated to lines of dialogue that are like zoomer humor or just super unbearably like making me want to rip my gums out. Terrible. If we get a Hawk Tuah joke, I am going to disown Mr. Miyazaki as my son. Not that he is anyways, but you know. Just unbearable dialogue. The space. Okay. Real face on CGI body. So, I have Godric the Grafted as this space. The image for this space. Because you just know that since they're going to have live action human beings, or so I've heard, that there is going to be like some guy is going to be Godric's voice actor and face, and he's going to have a real face on a huge CGI body. So that could either be really shit or it'll actually look kind of good. But it's gonna be weird, that's for sure. Well. Thought you just helped yourself to a man's personal belongings, huh? So Patches is an integral Souls-like character. Or I guess a FromSoft character, really. But if he makes a cameo in the game, it would be so good to have the actual voice act. It would be so weird if Patches was voiced by anyone else. Especially if he's like a real guy. But yeah, it would be cool to see him in the movie even. Alright, free space. Our Remembrance boss says their iconic catchphrase. Foul tarnished, in search of the Elden Ring, emboldened by the flame of... Shut up, Ice Maker, I'm trying to do a voice. So, if any of the Remembrance bosses say like their iconic cutscene dialogue, for example, I command thee, kneel! Or, Witless tarnished. From Malekith. Any of those. I am Melania, Blade of Mikola, and I have never known defeat. Any of those would count for this space. Nearly everything is practical effects, except for some impossible stuff. So it would be very, very cool to see a lot of these armors made into official costumes. Like, for example, I have a picture of someone cosplaying as I was gonna say Nereus. That's not his name. That's the Bloody Finger. Nereus, the Bloody Finger. Yura, that's his name. Because he turns into Shibariri, but you know. Bloody Finger Hunter Yura. Because it would just be really cool to see a lot of practical effects used for the film, especially like some of these armors, but like, you know. Alright. Modern music breaking my immersion. So we have had a lot of like video game movies, especially recently, that have had that, like, the one in particular that comes to my mind that is upsetting in this regard is the Mario movie. Like, you have a really strong library of music to pull from as the Mario franchise, and you choose to use like not 80s, 90s pop music. It's not bad music choices, but why are they in a Mario movie? It just is out of character in that regard. So if we get any modern pop like music or whatever, if we don't just get like completely immersive, like music, then I'm gonna be upset. Age of Stars ending confirmed. So, if it does follow the Tarnished becoming Elden Lord, I'm under the impression that it is going to be the Age of Stars ending. If they pick any of the endings to go with specifically. Otherwise, it's going to be just Centrist Andy. I would consider also maybe changing the space to and one of the endings confirmed. But I have a strong suspicion that if they pick any of them, it's going to be the Age of Stars. Shadow of the Erdtree content is in the film. So Shadow of the Erdtree content, and I mean like a considerable amount. Like I would need like Mesmer or one of the remembrance bosses from the movie to be in the film, or at least in some substantial in any substantial extent. That's the words. So like I would have to see Mesmer's I was gonna say Mesmer's butt crack. What was I talking about? I'm just gonna go to the next spot. Jim Henson's Creature Shop made some stuff for the film. So Jim Henson's Creature Shop has been kind of all doing a bunch of stuff. For us gamers, the most notable example might be the FNAF film, and I'm supposing the FNAF 2 movie. Both will did and will have Jim Henson's Creature Shop making some of the practical effects, because they're really good at their craft, no doubt about that. But I would, and I've got Sweetums from the Muppet as the fire giant for that tile. That's great. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they had some hand in making some of the props or even some of the costumes actually. But probably some sort of creature would be a practical effect creature. That would be cool. Especially imagine a reminder, Jim Henson Creature Shop is the same people who made the Dark Crystal. And the Dark Crystal is very Elden Ring in retrospect, now that I think about it out loud. Very Elden Ringy is the Dark Crystal. So that would be kind of perfect if they did some practical effects for that. That would be super, I think that'd be super cool. Try fingers, but whole. Everyone knows the meme. I would, if it makes some sort of even a brief appearance, kind of like how the Sonic movie 1 had the old man holding up a picture of Sonic. It would be something very brief and not easily noticed. But part of me has a sneaking suspicion that would make its way into the movie somehow. I don't know quite how, but I mean it's the iconic meme, so I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised, but I wouldn't be shocked, I guess. We get to see the Land of Reeds. So the Land of Reeds are an area in Elden Ring that I'm assuming is outside the Lands Between. I don't remember if it's specifically said where the Land of Reeds technically is. I'm assuming it's not referring to the Graveside Plain. I guess it technically could be, but that seems unlikely. Actually, is it? Anyways, that's a whole lore discussion that I don't have time to get into, but it would be cool to see the Land of Reeds, even for in a brief talking about the Land of Reeds has been locked in a blood-soaked battle for eons or whatever. It'd be cool to see it. 3 or more minor side quest characters each have dialogue. So there are very many. There's a very solid amount of side quests in Elden Ring and minor characters, and it'd be cool to see Yura is in this one, and Blyde is in this, and they have dialogue, and what's that sorcerer's name? What is his name? I was gonna search it up, but I can't even think. Rogier, that's his name. I was gonna type it in, but I remembered. Okay, Turtle Pope. If we get Muriel, the Turtle Pope in the movie, I will smile. That is all I have to say about Muriel. Protagonist speaks, and it sucks. So if we have a tarnished protagonist, this is like a mirror almost of the silent, pretty much of the silent protagonist at the top. But if we get a tarnished protagonist who is like the self-insert character, it would be this space is if the tarnished self-insert character speaks and it sucks. Because if he speaks and it's like a tolerable amount, like okay. But if he's like annoying, like the annoying, like main, like quirky bullshit character, that would make me upset. So yeah, that's if the protagonist speaks and it sucks. And finally, new lore just dropped. This space is for all of you fanatics of the lore, such as myself, because it's possible that the movie is not canon in the same way that Night Rain is not going to be canon, but it's a what-if scenario where a lot of the stuff technically could happen, but just didn't. So it's very possible that they'll go a route like that with the movie, especially if it's not going to be about... if it's going to be like about the Shattering or about some sort of like side quest type thing, or whatever, however they go with it, when they go get around to that. But yeah, if there's any lore revelations from the movie, that space would be good. And that's pretty much everything I thought of for the bingo card. This became a lot longer than I thought it would be, just talking about the bingo spaces. But I ramble, I guess. And I kind of just wanted to make this video, show off the bingo card. Yeah, and I just wanted to have my two cents about it. I think I'll look back on this movie after it comes out, assuming it even does come out. It could be a myth for all, still, in all honesty, for all I know. But yeah, feel free to use this bingo card or rearrange it or make your own bingo card. Whatever you feel like. I'm just happy that it sounds like something that cool is gonna happen. And I can't wait to play Night Rain when that comes out later this month, too. Alright, well I guess I'll leave you there. Have fun. And if you happen to be watching the movie, you have my condolences. Have fun watching it. And maybe print this out if you're in the theater. Bye.